and to talk about the developments in Russia and Ukraine as Russia accuses Ukraine of hitting its nuclear site and causing a major fire there. Sergei Lavrov saying Zelensky is being obstinate and saying he's setting conditions by insisting for an immediate meeting with the Russian president, while Zelensky is accusing Russia of trying to run away from the table. We'll talk about the developments even as the Ukraine celebrates its Independence Day. I'm joined on the show by Mohan Kumar. He's a former senior diplomat, now with the OP Jindal University, and also Dr. Rajan Kumar. He is from Jawaharlal Nehru University in the national capital. Thank you both gentlemen for being on the show. First to you, Ambassador Kumar, what should we make of Sergei Lavrov's statement saying that why is Zelensky insisting for a meeting? He's being obstinate, he's setting conditions. Is there some truth in what Zelensky accuses of the Russians or trying to use delaying tactics just because they don't want to stop the war?
So thank you very much for having me. I think one way of looking at this issue, Amritpal, is that both sides are jostling to gain influence on the battlefield or psychological influence before really the talks, which will start at some point. So that is one theory, if the talks do start. The other way of looking at it is the more pessimistic theory, if you like, which is that we all know that President Trump walked into the meeting before Alaska saying that if there is no ceasefire, then I'm going to impose sanctions on Russia. And then after meeting with Putin, he had to change his mind and say that we will not aim for a ceasefire, but we will go directly to a peace agreement. Now, we all know why a ceasefire is proving to be difficult, because both sides are accusing each other, which have civilians. So there is just a complete lack of trust. My point to you is, and that is what we all have to wait and watch. President Trump has a deadline, if I'm not mistaken, of one more week before he said he will exercise three options or two options at best. One is more tariffs, or more tariffs and more sanctions, or walk away. So President Trump, I think, is in a bad place right now in the sense that his appeals to Putin are not really getting through, and his talk with the Europeans and Zelensky is not making a peace agreement in Ukraine. And everything that we have seen for the last 1 week seems to indicate this backdrop. We will just have to wait and see how President Trump reacts to this whole thing. It is also a short run. I don't think that's going to happen. Lavrov has made it abundantly clear that while at some point it can happen, a lot of preparatory meetings that we are not even able to get either of the two parties to stop bombing each other. And civilians, peace looks very, very dim, if you ask me.
Professor Rajan Kumar, peace comes later, just to get to the table looks very dismal at this point in time, or distant at this point in time, because there is no facilities being attacked, etc. Then what does where does last I'll be able to get the two on the table? Is it just his? Is he holding some cards close to his chest?
Thank you for having me here, Amritpal ji. And you are absolutely right. Consistently inconsistent. He's appending his position, he's changing his position, shifting his position every time.
I like that expression that you use. He's consistently inconsistent. Okay, please.
with Trump and his diplomacy is that he does not have any foundational principles. The way normally negotiations take place, and Ambassador Kumar will kind of certify that most of the good deals, the lower officers, they do the deal, and finally the president go and meet and sign the declaration. But here, what happens that he goes. Lower officials, they start working on, try to fit into whatever position he takes. So here the issue is number one is the issue of ceasefire, and then the issue what Trump is saying, that he's speaking the language of President Putin at the moment. President Putin does not want ceasefire for the simple reason that Russian military has an upper hand. Let me tell you, Russia already has Crimea is was the first one, but after that Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Luhansk, etc. And President Putin is asking for the Kharkiv region, entire Donetsk. Will not do that, will not surrender that territory, because the biggest military establishment is in that region, Kharkiv and Sumy region. Not in position to defend Kiev. The problem with Ukraine at this moment is that most of the Ukrainians and even Western experts believe that Ukraine does not have a capacity to fight Russia for long. So it might be just the issue of by European countries, but unfortunately, because the Russian military has upper hand, and it believes that it trusts President Trump. Although I know he'll never speak but he does not completely trust Trump because of his shifting positions, and also because the way that he'll know in few minutes that whether the deal is happening or not. And after even Alaska meeting, and after that, forget about peace, even the ceasefire is not a possibility.
Okay. Ambassador Kumar, Donald Trump. Professor Rajan Kumar is saying that, Putin doesn't trust Trump. Who does? See as publicly as Trump. Remember when the European leaders were in the Oval Office? Is Trump losing credibility? Is he a mature leader? Can he run the US presidential office?
Has to be that President Trump is extremely unprecedented among the leaders who practice diplomacy. I don't think the active or not, Amritpal ji, it's very hard to say, frankly, because Putin at least to the table, which other leaders in the past have not been able to achieve. So it's a little too early into heavy weather. But it would be premature, I think, to write him off completely, because I think both sides know that it cannot go very much beyond can win this war. That is the problem.
No, but why is then Trump, using the bullying tactics with Russia? I mean, I can understand if we were to tell Asim pressure, but when you're dealing with Putin, what sanctions are you threatening? They've been into Asia, so why is he using bullying tactics with Putin, knowing very well that this is a form
he's dealing with? One is China and one is Russia, and we have to wait and see what happens after a week, because and leave you guys to fight it out till death do us apart or whatever. So I think there is to wait and see what the Europeans do or don't do. I understand they're in a difficult situation. I also note for your audience that the Ukrainian ambassador in Delhi has, to be honest with you, Amritpal ji, I think it is in India's interest to see this conflict end quickly, actions and the rest of it. So from a very foreign policy perspective, my attention was attracted to the statement made by the Ukrainian ambassador, and I think clear to both Putin and Zelensky that we want this war.
Both leaders that dialogue and diplomacy is the way forward. That has been India. Indian ambassador to New Delhi also said that he would want India to mediate.
India could have mediated had the war been between Russia and Ukraine. Call Russia on the one side and Western countries in different forms on the other side. The right time for India to put its nose and try to negotiate, because Trump is not liberal. So I don't think that India alone can negotiate secondary sanctions, etc. So Russia is concerned, and India in collaboration with for some kind of ceasefire. Any negotiation has to start with a ceasefire. Would be happy to play whatever role it can play, but negotiating at this moment with the European countries, because European countries the maximalist position of Ukraine is that it will not cede territory, and maximalist position of Russia is that it will not. At this point of time is absolutely impossible. We should be lucky if these countries agree that he is not interested in a ceasefire. He is interested in a larger kind of play.
All right. So the situation looks very, very complicated. It is, as of today, looks highly improbable.